Well, it's pretty bright tonight. I'll probably be squinting. That helps a little, not too much. That's Clara there behind me. Abraham over there. Missy's still out there. She doesn't like the camera. So she left when I brought it in. I'm going to tell a story about her. Um, but I'm going to start with a plant. There's a plant that has these stick-tight seeds that look like strings of beads, flat, made out of Velcro, and they stick to you. I have attempted to put a still image of that plant on this video. I don't know if it's there or not. And it's a legume, and it's an obnoxious stick. I hate the plant, and it's taken over part of our grassland that I have failed to manage properly recently, and so there's just acres of this stuff down there. If you tried to walk through it, you'd look like you had on a biological suit of armor. And when it gets on your skin, it pulls. It's uncomfortable. It wants you to take it off and plant it someplace. You know, it gets you, and then you keep walking, and then while you're walking, you pick it off and plant it. This is it's trained us, and but I hate the stuff. And so that's just the story of a plant. Put that aside. We're going to come back to that thing here. My chair's made out of metal and it's not very comfortable, so I'm pointing around tonight. Missy's been pulling the cart some. She's got collar harness. I think you've seen a few videos if you've been looking for them. And she's willing to pull it. I mean, she'll go and stop when asked to and stuff. Most of the time, she isn't frightened by it, but things still occur that catch her off, and she's kind of a spooky critter. So, G objects to her being so spooky. She says she's like a horse, not a donkey, and she's pretty spooky. But she's still a donkey. I have faith in her. But although she'll pull a cart and stomp, she has not been willing. This has been like, I don't like this. You're picking on me. And when you walk with them, you have to direct them. You know, you don't want to just walk straight forever. You want to turn left or turn right, or veer a little this way or that way, go around something. And the way you do that, you got a lead rope, and you just direct their head, you know, with your hand. You just, you know, a little push, a little pull, whatever, you know, jiggle up and pull back. And but she's been objecting to that process. So if I pull on her lead rope to get her to come haul over closer to me, she just sets her neck just like a steel, like glass. It's just rigid. And even if she comes my way, the whole body, she's moving like she had to pivot around the base of her tail. And it's really hard. And it's all just this big pain in the butt. And so I put her on the cart a couple, 3 days ago, and just to go for a walk. And for a donkey to pull a cart all the time, all day, every place she goes, is literally no harder than for a dog to wear a collar all day. It's no worse. They can do it and never bat an eye. And you look at donkeys in Asia and Africa, and they're not picked on, they're not starved, they're not beat, they're walking along with people, and people aren't even holding on. If that donkey didn't want to be there, he'd leave. And other ones are like, like I am when I'm with Abe. They got a hold of a lead rope with like 2 fingers, and they're going jiggle this, jiggle that, and this kind of thing. And they just walk with you. And their necks are just supple, you know. You ask them to come this way, and their head just comes around, and their body just follows it, and it's just such a soft turn. She can do that. Well, she can too. That's Clara, but Missy's still out there. She's not coming. She's not doing this. She knows what's going on, and she says, "I'm not in this show, man. This is your deal, not mine." Um, so anyway, I need her to understand that this is something we do, like when we're up here, we just hang around. It's not a big deal, and because that's what makes working with them easy is when it's not a big deal and they just whatever you got, it's okay. And Abe will get bored and he'll get punchy, and he's got a temperament, he's got a personality, but overall, we're just going for a walk. It's like taking your dog for a walk. Only this one pulls a cart. It's same deal, and we go out here and we potter around the farm, or maybe we got something to do. We got to haul hay, or we got to go get a bunch of fence posts, or we got to do something. But they have to be it has to just be easy, because I'm fundamentally lazy, and this whole thing I'm doing with donkeys, I did this to make my life easier, not to make it harder. I mean, like this deal I do with hay, this is it. This is the least labor I can possibly invest in having enough hay to keep these animals alive this winter. That's why I do it this way. It's the easiest, and the conventional question is what's faster, and I want to know what's easier. I'm lazy. Anyway, so I decided to take her out for a walk, just her and the cart and me, and we just go visit some of the places around the farm where we work. When I'd ask her to come and she'd make her neck rigid like that, I'd gently tell her the N word, the one that ends with O, and uh, and I would, "Hello, Clara, you're beautiful. Yes, you are." And if she didn't, this is a straw hat if she says I'm going to be annoyed. Anyway, I'd ask her to stop. And she would go and stop. This stiff neck deal didn't keep her from going and stopping. So I could say stop and she would stop. Mostly she'd get a little bit hard, but mostly she'd stop. I just go over there and loop my hand in the strap of her halter, just real easy and soft, and just pull towards me. And if that didn't work, reach around and push the other side of her face, push towards me, and give her a goodie when her head got over here, and push it away. Get out in front of it and move it this way, move it that way, and we gotta soften up, man. This rigid neck deal is just, it's too hard. So, we were doing pretty good. We'd been around this side. We'd been over to hayfields and stuff and looked at all that, and gone down the gravel drive and gone down a road, on the gravel road down to the creek bottom. Just before we got to the bridge, we turned back into our field. And there's a mowed lane down there that I've kept mowed all summer, so it's if you keep grass short, it just gets used to being short, so it's satisfied with that. If you let it get waist high and then mow it down, it's like eek, and it looks like you killed it. But these lanes I've been mowing all summer, they're just green lanes around, follow the creek bottom woods and go back up that way. Places that I like to go to observe. Hello, Missy. Wish you'd come up here, honey. You sure are pretty. Yeah, I saw you out here earlier. You didn't think anybody was looking. That's how pretty you were. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. You're just precious. I got nothing to hand but you're precious. That's Missy. She decided to come up. Missy's got to be respected. And I do respect her. She's quite a person. She has a strong personality, a strong identity. She's a wise animal, and she's going to be super good at what we're doing here. Okay, did you do anything? Anyway, we walked down this lane for ways. Everything was good. I mean, we were doing good, Jen. I was holding the rope, and she was, you know, here, Claire, don't hassle your mama. Don't. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everybody will be fine. Yes. Yeah, I know. Everybody. You gotta be first. Claire's kind of spoiled, and I'm not fixing it as fast as I should. Anyway, yes, you can. Mrs. right here off the screen. She's observing. Anyway, she got into, and I didn't know what happened. She was walking along, everything was fine, and something happened. It happened down below her line of sight because she looked down, and then she exploded. She really wanted to run away. I had her on the 10-foot cotton lead rope, 3/4 inch rope. Big stop knocking in. And I stood back at the end of the rope, and as she ran, she was going that way. I guess it'd be counterclockwise. She was going that way. I was on her, to the side I'm always on. I was on her left, she's on my right. And, but she was letting her neck bend while she was trying to run away. She didn't have her neck rigid. You can feel it through the rope when that neck is rigid. It's like tuning a guitar string. You can hear it, you can feel it. And it was rigid. She was trying to run away. She was terrified, but she was letting me lead her head. So, and she went around me more times than she's ever gone around me before. I'm not sure, 3, 4 maybe. She bucked a little. She could have broken away from me. She can do that anytime she wants. She was really upset, and she was really frightened, and yet she was staying in the partnership. And she eventually ran out of steam, but she was still wound. I mean, wound tight, exploding wound tight. And I held her for a while, and I petted her, I stroked her neck, and her face, and her back, haunches, and I just petted all over her to just get that poison out. You know, that fear. Fear is that fear hormone that's poisoning, and to get that out of her. So, and then I took her over and tied her to there's a dead tree down there that's still good and stout. I tied her to it. There's no bark, no branches. It's easy to tie to. And I did it for some longer, you know, where I brushed her and just talked to her and got her to where she was pretty much okay. And we turned around. No, we didn't. We went on farther from home because I didn't want to let the fear conquer us. We went on farther from home, and we went down to another place that was a visible milestone place, and we turned around that place, and we went back the way we had come. Because I wanted to get her home with nothing else going wrong. She was frightened. You know, she was way better than she had been, but she was still frightened. And so I got her back up here, put the cart away, did the little stuff I do. She tied up right over there. Her spot to get tied to is right there. She ties there, it ties there, Claire ties back there. And she was tied up, and I looked down, and there were a bunch of these beggar ticks, these little green Velcro beads on both her front legs. And they were uncomfortable and they kind of hurt. They're nasty little things. And when they get on your skin, they pull your hair and they pull at your skin and they make you uncomfortable so that you'll pick them off and plant them. I mean, we think we're so smart and plants are so stupid. I'll tell you what. You need somebody else to explain that to me because I'm not sure I'm convinced. Anyway, they had gotten on both her front legs and they were pulling at her fur and pulling at her skin. And she'd never experienced it before. And it just scared the living daylights out of her. And I got down and I started to pick them off. Well, even picking them off is uncomfortable. That's still clear there. And she didn't like having me pick them off, but she really wanted, Bandit, you better look out. Here comes the dog police. Claire decided Bandit had to leave. She didn't used to let him in here at all. And she went months before he could come in here. So this is a big improvement. Missy went out to give him a bad eye too. We're in this together, Buster. Don't crowd your life. Anyway, I started picking those things off her legs, and that scared her. And she snatched her leg up. And I realized what happened. That plant caused this runaway because she had a sudden onset of discomfort on both front legs. And whether that particular trigger will ever get her again, I don't know. She didn't like having me take them off, but she knew that I had to, and she was extremely good about it. After, it took us I had to pick 2 or 3 of them off before. She's right there. I can almost reach her. She's looking right at me. I could pick 2 or 3 of them off before she realized that that's what I was doing, was getting rid of that thing. And then she fidgeted a few times. She just jumped, tense, and it was kind of scary, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, she was so beautiful. But I got them all off, and I made a little wad. I made a wad about the size of a pecan in the shell in my hand, and I offered it to her, and she ate it. So she knows that she can defeat that thing now. And there is more to learn walking on the earth than the wisest men and the wisest women of all the world will ever learn. We don't need computers to have stuff to learn. I'm telling you, people, there's more to learn than you can imagine. Anyway, she's right there. She's sniffing the tripod now. I'm going to get off here before she pushes it over. Good night. Thanks for coming along.